What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Sorry, y'all. I was having some technical difficulties. I did not get the last few minutes of this episode, so I don't know what happened. At my reception cut out. Um, so I don't know what happened after Stacy was trying to leave the truck stop, well, the gas station, where her luggage. So I think it was like maybe 15 minutes left. I do not know what happened at the end. So y'all can put it in the chat. I see y'all talking about Karen and everything. So Karen showed up at the end. Damn, I miss Karen. So that's what the last 15 minutes was, Karen. But it was like her coming out of jail or something. Tell me what happened. Hold on, and I'm trying to get some tea. Somebody was sending me something. Hold on. Let me see. Oh. Yes. Got it. Thanks. Okay. All right. Somebody was sending me something, and I was like, what are you talking about? But they just cleared it up for me. Okay. So, and remind me, I'll tell y'all what it is because I don't think it's something I'm gonna do a separate live on, but I'll give y'all the tea. Okay, I give y'all the tea. She stepped out of the jailhouse and got in the car headed home. Okay, so they showed the actual footage of her leaving jail. Okay. Jazelle lost the court case from her father's will. Yeah, the finale is next week with Kern. Mm-hmm. That's interesting that Jazelle lost the court case. I felt like she was going to. It's hard. Listen, those types of things are hard. And where Jazelle was losing me was when she was making it seem like she was an only child, and her kids are the only people that would have been affected when she's got a whole sister and brother. So I don't know where the sister and the brother stood in that case. And I mean, I didn't go search and look it all up or whatever, but her father was remarried, and I understand that maybe you feel like some funny stuff was done. But the reality is, I think a lot of times, and I don't know her story. I'm just talking in general. I think a lot of times it's hard for people to accept the fact that, like, you may not have liked this woman, but clearly your daddy did. He married her. So he had a whole nother wife, and you may feel like she didn't have his best interest at heart. Maybe he talked shit to you about her. Maybe they went through some bad times, but I think it's hard for people to sometimes accept the fact that maybe he did leave stuff to her. Maybe that is his real will. I don't know. Now, according to Jazelle, the new will was signed after he was no longer, capable of doing that. But I guess a court of law felt differently. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, but that's why you gotta take care of these things. Anyway, I don't know the details, so I don't have a lot to say because I really don't know the details. But let's get into this episode. So let me say something. Last week, I spent a lot of time defending Angel. Did I accept the fact that Angel made some mistakes? Yes. But I did not like how the women were coming at Angel. Right? I have also spent a lot of time defending Stacy because, again, do I think Stacy is perfect? Absolutely not. But I don't like the way it seemed like they were piling up on Stacy. Now, this is what I'm going to say in response as it relates to both of these women on this final episode. I got no more for y'all. I have given y'all all I have. I have defended y'all. every which way I know to defend y'all. I got nothing left. Angel, you knew good and damn well you wasn't coming back to that damn, you was not sleeping at that damn hotel. You knew good and damn well you were not coming back and sleeping at that hotel. You should have just told them women you wasn't coming back and sleeping at that hotel. It didn't make sense. And the reality is, it didn't make sense for you to come back and sleep at that hotel. It was an hour away from your house. So you're absolutely correct. For me to go all the way back home, pack my bags, or the ladies pack their bags, me pack an overnight bag to drive an hour back to the hotel, to drive an hour back to wherever it is they had to go the next day. It didn't make sense. But you should have just said that. You should have just said, look, logistic, like, I'm glad y'all are at the Four Seasons. I'm glad y'all are going to have a beautiful night of sleep. I'm glad that that's going to work out for y'all. We're going to meet you guys in the morning. It does not make sense for us to drive back and come back to do what? Because by the time we get back, y'all ain't going to be ready to do nothing but go to sleep. It ain't like, y'all, you know, you talk about we're going to have a pajama. Ain't nobody pajama jammy nothing at 2 o'clock in the morning. They all know, so she shouldn't say, I'm not coming back. I don't understand what that means. So you should have just said, don't come, I'm not coming back. And that would have been the end of that. That would have been the end of that. Tracy said only 32 people have liked my live. Can y'all hit the like button, please? I appreciate y'all. It's 100 people in here. But they were pressed to be in that hotel to make shitty music. Child, I don't even want to talk about. When I tell y'all fast forwarded through that whole, I don't know what they said. I fast forwarded the minute they started singing. I fast forwarded. I don't know how the rest of that. Child, fast forwarded through all of that. Now, this is where I'm going to have to side eye you again, Angel. There's absolutely, and I'm talking for me. When it comes to my flight, baby, I am a paranoid person when it comes to I have missed flights before. Okay. I am a paranoid person when it comes to my flights. It's one thing for me to miss a flight leaving out of DC to go where I'm going, but I ain't, well, never's a struggle. It's never my intention to miss a flight coming home. There is no way. I don't care what they would have took out of my paycheck. I don't care what reprimand I would have gotten. When they got in those vans, those SUVs, and the GPS said that they were an hour and 40 minutes away from the fly fishing location, and they had to be at the airport in 5 hours. And that didn't make no sense unless they were lying to us about the countdown. That didn't even make logical sense to begin with. So it's going to take us an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half to get back. And in between, we're going to fly fish and eat lunch. And I got to be at the airport in 5 hours. How does that? You do the math. So I feel like they're exaggerating with this countdown of how long they had before their flight, because it didn't make sense, because none of them should have got in that damn van to go nowhere. Because the minute I saw that GPS and it said an hour and 46 minutes just to get where we were going, absolutely not. I'm going back in this good hotel. I'm going to sit at this bar for about 2 hours, and then I'm heading to the airport. I'm not. Well, maybe 3 hours. They said 5 hours. Yeah, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to go back in this hotel. I'm going to see if I can get a late checkout. You know, like, my bad, I didn't mean to check out. Can I get a late checkout? Can I go up to my room for about another 2 hours? And I would have relaxed. I would have kicked my feet up, you know, and if they said, no, we can't do that. Okay, well, let me see what else is around here. What else I can get into for a couple of hours that's close to the airport? And I would have took my happy ass to the airport. It's no way. Again, I don't care what production said. It is nowhere in the world that y'all gonna convince me to get in a van or wherever and drive an hour and a half to, and then once we get there, we still got to fly fish and eat and then come back. Ain't no way. Right. I hope that they were exaggerating about that timeline and that, because that just didn't even make sense for nobody. But neither here nor there. They all load up and they head on out. Now we have Angel, Tia, and Jazzy lost. Angel, hey girl. Hey. Hey girl. You have a whole company that does this. You have a whole product company that does this. You said they dropped you a pen and the pen took you in the opposite direction. And that has happened. That happened to me a couple of months ago. Me and some friends were meeting for brunch and my GPS took me to a totally different location. My friends were already at the restaurant looking for me. And I was like, well, where are y'all? Because I'm here. And they were like, well, why are you there? I'm like, because this is where my GPS took me. And I have the same, I have an iPhone. They have an iPhone. Like, it wasn't like we were using different stuff. And it literally took me to a whole different location. Now, granted, it was only about 15 minutes away from the correct address, but it does happen. It does happen. And I understand, I even understand her explanation. She said, look, I had to accommodate the size and the time. So this is why we were at a place that I haven't been to before. I don't know how to get here. I'm not familiar with this place. I honestly feel like in that moment, Angel wanted to ball up in a corner and just cry. Because she knew there's the more she drove, the more lost she got. And they have horrible reception. So she couldn't get in touch with them. They couldn't get in touch with her. And so everybody is just moving in a bubble. This, I agree, Miss French Kiss. This does not give me confidence to come and book a trip at the Wonderland farm. I mean, it doesn't. Because I don't feel like, to me, you mean to tell me you've never had a large party want to come through there before? Like, I still don't understand. And why didn't you do a dry run? Why didn't you go and check out the location and make sure it was a good spot? And it was like, at that point, Angel, you should have just called the lady, sent a text, a smoke signal or something. Baby, you should have got on your Yelp. You should have found a really nice restaurant near the airport that could accommodate that party and say, hey, y'all, meet me at the da-da-da-da-da restaurant. It's near the airport. We're going to just have a final lunch. I am so sorry that this didn't work out for us, but we're going to have a final lunch and then I'm going to see you guys off. At that point, that's just kind of what you should have done. Candace, I thought she said they were fly fishing on her property too. That's what I'm saying. I thought she said that they were doing, this was a part of her tour and this is something they've done. So it didn't make sense that you didn't know where the place was. And again, if you were using a new location, and maybe it's the anal person that I am, I would have made sure that I would have at least gone to see the location just to make sure that it's up to my standards. If nothing else, I just want to make sure it's up to my standards. I understand she had already paid for it quick, but sometimes, y'all know, in the words of the late, great Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. That was a time to fold. Like, you just got to eat that. You got to eat that. Get production to help reimburse you. I mean, because at this point, even if the ladies had made it there, ain't nobody had time to eat. Thank you, Phil. Phil said, I'm still interested in the Black outdoor travel experience. I think the production set them up because they left so late and had flights. First of all, they should have never scheduled something like that on the day they had a flight. Absolutely not. That should not have been what was on the plan for a day. Like, again, on a day where everybody has to get on a plane, what all y'all should have been doing is like I'm with just now. I hate to sound with Jazelle on this one. Let's go downstairs and let's have a really nice brunch. Let's all get a late checkout because it seemed like maybe they had flights in the evening, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock flights. Baby, let's go have this good brunch situation at like 1 o'clock. Let's go brunch And at like 3:30, let's head out to the airport. I don't. That's all they should. Again, I was with Jazelle on. Once I found out that was the same day they were leaving, I was with Jazelle on that one. Why are we planning excursions? Cause see that the way my nerves are set up, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I'm not even being funny. I would not have done it. I am the airport 2 hours early person. I will get to the airport and find somewhere to eat at the airport, and I will relax on the other side of security. And I will find somewhere to sit my tail down. That's why I'm one of those people, I like to check my bags because I don't like carrying a bunch of shit. Let me check my bag. So all I have is my book bag, or all I have is my purse. And I'm going to be on the other side of security somewhere. And I don't care if it's an expensive ass cafe. That's where I'm going to be. That is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be on the other side, and I'm going to be this expensive. I don't care. I'm going to be paying $15 for a burger. Sure will. But I'm going to be right in front of my gate. My gate going to be right there. Right there. They get ready to open the Bus Boys and Poets up at National. I can't wait because it's down there. It's in the side where American is, and 90% of the time I fly American, and they get ready to open up a Bus Boys and Poets right there. Baby, I can't wait because that's where my ass is going to be. Every time I got a flight, I'm going to be at that Bus Boys and Poets. That's one of my favorite restaurants, and that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at that little Bus Boys and Poets. I'm just telling y'all, the way my nerves are set up, I wouldn't have been. So I think that was for, whether it was production, whether it was Angel, it was a bad idea. I don't care. It was a bad idea. Now, let's talk about the conversations that happen inside of these cars before we, So let's start with the Jazelle, Monique, Ashley car. First of all, Six Figure B, no, exactly. She said right there by gate D41. You know what I'm talking about, girl. And look, that little cafe that's right there, I don't even know the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. The little restaurant that's right there, that's normally where you'll find me. Tawanda, if Tawanda was in here, she could tell you when we went to Books and Bourbon, me and her had the same flight. She was at the gate, and that's where I was. You know where I'm talking about. Sure will, right there. Give me some chicken wings and Brussels sprouts. Baby, them Brussels sprouts are so good. I'm just nervous about what menu they're going to have at the airport because I'm sure it's an abbreviated menu. Let me say this to y'all. First of all, Jazelle talked a little bit about her mom, and she was saying how she really doesn't have a close relationship with her mom. And she was saying with her, and then listen, this let me know how about Jazelle. Jazelle said, after losing my father so suddenly, I've been to Yard House, but I went for brunch. So I don't know if I've had that brunch. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I like Yard House. I like Yard House. The last time, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've been there for a regular meal. I think I've been there for brunch. I think, if I'm thinking of the right place. Anyway. And they have this great green juice. Am I thinking of the right place, Cajun? They have like fresh juices like on their, like, it was a brunch menu though. Hold on a second, y'all. So what I found interesting was that Jazelle said, yeah, after losing my dad so suddenly, it made me realize, and here I am thinking, there go Tawanda, hey boo. Here I am thinking, she was going to say, that made me realize I have to have a tighter relationship with my mom, or I have to, my mom moved to Houston and we're not as close, but this made me realize that I want to, get my relationship in a better space with my mom. No. She said, this made me ask my mother, do you have a will? Where is your will? What are your passwords? Now, let's be clear. Those are important conversations to have. Let me tell you something. I know my mama's password to everything. I know where my mom keeps all of the important papers for her and my father. I don't know how much money they have in their bank accounts, but I know which banks they have accounts in. You understand what I'm saying? Those are important conversations to have. But I thought she was going to say, after losing my dad so suddenly, it made me realize, I want to have a better relationship. And then she even said, when I talk to my mom, we have very specific conversations. Girl, what? Me and my mama talk about whatever the hell we talk about. Last time I talked to my mama, we ramble, and half the time I talk to my mama, we be rambling, and I don't even remember what I called her. If I did call her about something specific, I be done forgot what I was. I have to call her back and be like, "Oh, I meant to ask you about that." He had an aneurysm. He had brain cancer, and I think once they found it, it was pretty much a wrap. Like, it was real aggressive, and I don't think it was a lot they could do. But I don't remember, so I don't want to speak specifically. So then they bring up the Stacy Chris of it all again. So now they're saying, oh, well, Wendy's theory is Bobby may have been the one to tell Chris. First of all, and they were like, yeah, because Wendy's just trying to clear her friend because Bobby and Chris were such good friends. She's just trying to clear her friend. She's just trying to clear her friend. So then Ashley now, and this is why I don't believe nothing Ashley said. You know why I don't believe nothing Ashley said? Because if Ashley had that conversation with Chris, we'd have already known about that conversation with Chris. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. If Ashley had really had that conversation with Chris, we would have already known about that conversation with Chris. And even Jazelle said, I thought she had already told Monique. Why is she just telling Monique? Which tells me that this wasn't a conversation that had off camera that we didn't know about. This tells me that Ashley didn't say that to Monique. So you mean to tell me this whole time that you've been trying to convince Monique that Stacy had a relationship with her ex-husband, you forgot to tell her that you had a conversation with her ex-husband, and the ex-husband alluded to the fact that something was happening? Now, what I do appreciate that Monique said was, look, everybody in this scenario is messy and are untrustworthy. And I feel like what Monique walked away from that conversation with is, okay, maybe Stacy's lying, but I also know my ex-husband is a liar. And he was being messy by doing what he did. She was like, he knew exactly what he was doing by doing the, I don't know. She said he knew what he was doing. He was being messy. Maybe Stacy is a liar. I don't know. But it sounds to me like Monique was like, this shit is a wash as far as I'm concerned, because I really can't believe nobody in this scenario. And I low-key feel like she was talking about Ashley too. I low-key feel like she was talking about Ashley too. She was like, I can't believe nobody in this damn story. Nobody in this scenario is trustworthy. So in my opinion, that shit was a wash. Because Ashley, I feel like you was putting 20 on 10 because once again, you trying to stack the deck because you back on this whole bullshit with Stacy. But okay. And that's just my opinion. All right. Hey, y'all. I see y'all in the chat. Look, it's 170 of y'all. Thank y'all for being here. But if y'all haven't done so already, can y'all hit that like button? I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Monique knows Ashley's a lot. Right. That's what I'm saying. It didn't sound to me like, it sounded to me like Monique was basically like everybody in this conversation. And let's not forget the Cookie part of this. Monique knows Cookie for her works. So I think in the back of Monique's mind, she still ain't let Cookie off the hook. I mean, I know we ain't been talking about Cookie in a couple of weeks, but I feel like, remember what Monique said? Like, I know Cookie is messy. So I feel like she ain't let Cookie off the hook. You know what I'm saying? So then, y'all, my receiver, I don't know. Oh, Lord. I got to switch my DVR over. It usually does it automatically. I'm sorry. I see the red light just came on my receiver. So anyway, moving right along. So the next car we have the Wendy, the Stacy, and the Jazzy of it all. So Stacy says to Jazzy, I was a little taken aback when I saw you exchanging phone numbers with Sharice. And Jazzy was like, well, why would you say that? Well, because the last time I was with Sharice, she was calling me a hoe. And, you're my friend. So why would you want to be cool with her? And Jazzy was like, well, number one, that was my first time meeting her. And she was being polite. I was being polite. We exchanged numbers. What's the big deal? Well, I just would expect a little bit of loyalty. I mean, if you're going to be, I'm a good friend to you, and I just figured you would be loyal to me. Now, this is what I'm going to say about this. As much as I'm not a Jazzy fan, I kind of understood where Jazzy was coming from. Jazzy was like, look, I didn't know this lady. She was being nice to me. And again, I know y'all don't like it. I know y'all don't accept it. But at the end of the day, Sharice is that girl up in this area. She's very much connected, very much a socialite. And we know Jazzy is a social climber. We know Jazzy is a clout chaser. So in my opinion, she does not want doesn't want Sharice on her bad side, right? But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think she did anything wrong. Even if you know that this is somebody that has not been cool with your friend, exchanging numbers with somebody in a social setting is just that. Do you know how many times people exchange numbers and don't never fucking call nobody? I'm not talking about in a dating sense where you find somebody attractive and you're trying to go out on a date. I mean, you see somebody, oh, hey girl, how you doing? It's so nice to meet you. Let me get your information. Yes, okay, let's do lunch soon. Do you know how many times lunch don't happen? Do you know how many times people do that in a setting in that situation? I'm with Jazzy. So what was I supposed to say? This was my first time meeting her. What was I supposed to say? I don't want to talk to you because you don't like my friend. Girl, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere. So then Wendy from the front seat gonna say, well, Stacy, I'm just saying, if you want people to be loyal to you, you need to be loyal to them. Now, that was a loaded statement, right? So then Jazzy says, well, let's talk about it. Can we clear the air and talk about what really went down with my wedding? Now, I don't want to hear anything from Wendy in this situation when she laughed at KK's face about Wendy being a good friend. When she laughed in KK's face, right? This whole wedding thing, I still don't get, because what was explained to me, or not explained to me, but what I remember happening was Stacy was going to be a bridesmaid, and Stacy told Jazzy she didn't have the time, but she was still going to come to the wedding. And then they're saying, well, you weren't going to come to the wedding until you found out. Basically, I guess you found out the wedding was going to be filmed. I don't think that's what happened. I think Stacy said, I don't have time to be a bridesmaid. I will be at your wedding. That's it, and that's all. Now, Wendy did bring in a different element, and Wendy said, girl, I had to call you and convince you to come because you weren't going to come. And remember, I called you and told you it wouldn't be a good look if you didn't come to the wedding. Now, once again, this is new information that we did not have. And basically, I think what Wendy is trying to say is, I didn't add that to the conversation when the ladies were coming at you, because I was being loyal to you and they was already piling on you, and I didn't want to add to it. Now, can I tell y'all something? I believe Wendy now. I do believe Wendy. I believe Wendy. But I also feel like there's something missing in the story. Does that make sense to y'all? I feel like something is missing in the story. I believe Wendy, that she had that conversation with Stacy. So then Stacy says, well, you know what? If you want to go there, let's go there. She said, if you want to go there, let's go there. She said, you're right. I wasn't going to come. Me and you weren't speaking around the time of your wedding. Me and you weren't speaking. And why weren't we speaking? Because when I was on the phone with you, I felt like I was being recorded. I heard some warning saying I was being recorded, and that made me feel some kind of way because I was like, why are you recording me? Hold on a second, y'all. Watch my commercial on your Black Girl Vitamins. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So I just felt like now I'm like, oh, so now this gets a little deeper. Do I believe Stacy? I don't even know at this point because then Jazzy said, what you talking about? I wasn't recording you. I was the one that heard that somebody was being recorded. So now I don't know. But what I do know is it sounds like Stacy maybe not coming to the wedding goes a little bit deeper than, oh, they're not recording it. Thank you, Tracy. Y'all make sure if y'all voted today for the Starry Awards. Y'all, I forgot to vote for my damn self yesterday. I kept saying I'm gonna vote, and then I forgot. So I gotta vote for myself from all of my accounts today. I gotta vote because you can vote up to 3 times. And now you can skip. I think they have changed the setting where now you can skip categories where people, if it's people you don't know or whatever, you could just vote for the people you want to vote for. So it's a little bit easier. You don't have to go through that whole thing anymore. Okay. So yeah, I just feel like for me, that would make sense as to why Stacy was thinking about not coming to the wedding if her and Jazzy had sort of had a fallout. And then Jazzy was like, well, girl, oh no, that's later on. So that was the argument. So now the three of them are in the car arguing. And Monique is like, look, where the hell are we going? Like, where the hell are we going? They realize the time and how far they are from the place. Monique has to go to the bathroom. So they stop at a little, it looks like it's like a little quick trip, a little Wawa type racetrack type gas station. There's a food truck there. They're getting food. The other ladies stop and they all sit down and eat. And they end up calling Angel and let Angel know, look, girl, we are headed to the airport. We are getting further and further away from this location. Our flight is getting nearer and nearer, and I'm a little bit more nervous and nervouser. Now, here's why I truly believe that countdown is not accurate. That they were just trying to make us feel like it was that bad. Because here's why. They had up on the screen that their flight was leaving in 1 hour and 39 minutes. And them ladies sat down on the side of the road and ate that pizza like they didn't have a care in the world. See, that's when you run in, you use the bathroom, you grab you a bag of chips, you grab you some water, maybe you get you a soda. Hell, get you a beverage if they sell the alcohol down to that liquor store. I mean, to that gas station, and you get your ass back in that SUV, and you take your ass to the hotel. I mean, to the airport. I'm not understanding why y'all. And I'm not even mad that you ordered from the food truck. Get your ass back in the truck. Why are we filming a whole nother scene? Like we don't have a care in the world. Like they were chilling. I said, oh, this ain't right. I said, they just trying to make us feel like it's worse than what it is. Because at 1 hour and 30, baby, when my flight is leaving in 1 hour and 39 minutes, I need y'all to know I'm already at the airport. And if I'm not already at the airport, I'm damn sure in the car close. Like, close. Yeah, it was definitely put up there for the drama. Hey, powerful, hey, boo. It was definitely exaggerated for drama purposes. And that's when I knew. I had suspicions before that, but that's when I knew. Because I was like, why are we sitting here chilling, eating this pizza like we don't have nowhere to be? And then they proceeded to have a whole nother argument and film a whole nother scene. So the ladies are talking about, well, how was your car ride? So of course we had to get into the whole Stacy of it all. So we start arguing all over again about Stacy. And once again, all the ladies are coming down on Stacy about she lied about everything. She's just a liar. And I was loyal to you. And her and Whitney got into it. And Whitney was like, look, girl, I was a good friend to you. I was loyal to you. I had your back. I was there for you. I did all of the things. And don't you question me. Don't you dare make it seem like I didn't have your back and I wasn't loyal to you, girl. You know, and so, baby Wendy stood her, Stacy stood her little ass up, walked over to that van, took her luggage out that van, and proceeded to walk over, and she was calling her ass an Uber. Stacy, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Stacy, I do not blame you that you took your luggage. Now, here's the thing. You still gonna see their ass because I'm sure y'all are all on the same flight. So you're still gonna have to see your ass. But baby, I don't blame you. I am done arguing with you ladies. I'm done fighting with you ladies. I'm done explaining myself to you ladies. Regardless of whether people think Stacy is right or wrong at this point, baby, it is exhausting. And I am exhausted for her. Then they had a nerve to go over there and be like, Stacy, no, we're going to leave together. We came together, we leave together. Baby, F all y'all is what my response would have been. F all y'all. Now that's where my DVR cut off. So I didn't see the last 15 minutes. I'm having some reception issues. I guess y'all know I got direct TV. So I guess I don't know what's going on, child. It was cutting out during that episode, like, and then it cut off at the end. So I don't know what happened. Y'all said Kern made an appearance. I'm gonna have to watch it on Peacock tomorrow so I can see the last 15 minutes. Because I've got to see the Grand Dame. Gotta see the Grand Dame. That was a problem for me. They didn't have to tell them anything about the car ride. Friends don't do that. Well, it's the show, so but I agree. They ain't have to go that deep. They could have just said, girl, they ain't have to go that deep. Wendy was right, in my opinion. Tired of Stacy not coming clean. Could she at least be honest with Wendy, who defended her? It was a tease. Excuse me. I wasn't blaming Jazelle. I was comparing Wendy. Oh, y'all talking in the chat. Okay. How did Karen get braiding hair in jail? Oh, they'll do that. They said that Karen had glam come in. They'll do that. They'll let you, especially for celebrities. Y'all know they're gonna do that. They'll do that. They'll let somebody come in before you leave, so you get yourself together. They'll do that. Hey, what's up, Dario? Hey, boo. One time for the birthday boy. 2 times for the birthday boy. Hey, boo. Karen had glam right before she was let out. Absolutely, she did, because she knew she was going to be filming. She knew the cameras and the paparazzi were going to be there. Absolutely, she did. She ain't the first person to have glam before she left, knowing that it was going to be cameras, and she ain't the last. Why do you have me writing allow braiding in my class notes? Oh, it was just a tease. Okay, cool. Cool. Right, and people do they listen. They get everything you need in jail. Yeah. Ashley was so two-faced with Stacy at the table. Was this the season finale? They had the updates at the end of the episode. Yeah, this is the season finale, technically. But they're going to do the one-on-one with Karen next week, and then the reunion starts. So technically, this was the finale as far as any new, anything with the ladies. Next week is Karen's interview, and then, we're going to have three weeks of a reunion. Ciao. All right, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I do not have to go to work tomorrow, so y'all will get married to medicine tomorrow. I still owe y'all Beverly Hills, child. I guess I had to get y'all Beverly Hills at some point tomorrow. And I believe it's my week to host the panel. No, it's JoJo's week. Is it JoJo? I gotta ask. It's either JoJo's week or my week. Love and Marriage what? There's no Love and Marriage. Oh, wait a minute. What you talking about, Xavier? Oh, they did the wrap up and let us know Wendy and Eddie got arrested. Child. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.